Well, welcome to Schenectady Today, in and around the Capital Region. We're so happy that you're with us today because it's always a pleasure to have great viewers just like you watching great guests just like these that we have next to us. We have a great lineup today. We're going to be talking with the Animal Protective Foundation about the Canine Academy, finding out if your pet needs a little bit of extra help behaving. Probably they get plenty of loving. But then we'll be talking with Jen Dugan. She's with the Makeup Curio, and she just opened up her business up on State Street in the old Foster building. And then we have Max Suddeth, and he's here from my side to talk about what's going on at my side, but not just simply what's going on, but what they're doing for Halloween to keep the kids really excited and happy and learning at the same time. And then we're going to be speaking with a gentleman, James Bookout, Reverend James Bookout. He's with the bridge up on Crane Street. You'll be amazed at what he's doing up there for our community. And then another amazing person is Carrie Brown, and she is coming in from, I believe she's been in Ghana. She'll be going back there, I understand, and we're going to be talking about what she's doing to help getting schools there. And she's doing a big African festival to raise money for that. And then we're going to be speaking with Sherry Lyons. She is the co-organizer of TEDx Schenectady. If you've watched TED Talk, then you know what this is all about. It's going to be this coming Saturday, but depending on when you're listening. But right now, I want to mention also that our breaks today are going to be a wonderful performer. She came from Africa and did some African folk music. I pulled that video up so that we can kind of shore up the idea of the African experience. As a matter of fact, Proctor's is having a big West African dance troupe here this week, so I think we're immersing ourselves in the continent. I want to start right out with, I'm losing my voice, so please bear with me. I have two guests. One is Amy Duskowitz. And welcome, because you're brand new.
Yes, thank
welcome.
You very much.
Yes. She is the shelter director at the Animal Protection Foundation. And Sheila LaGuire, she is with Animal Care and Welfare Manager. So let's talk about, and you brought Gus with you.
Yes.
Gus is not up for adoption.
He is not up for adoption. He's already been claimed, but he is
and
sometimes...
who wouldn't claim his dog?
Right. He's sometimes a good example of a semi-well-behaved dog.
Every dog is semi-well-behaved, depending on if there's food around.
Yep.
So tell me about what's going on, and welcome, as I said, you're brand new. What does the, that's water. This is just water, honey. That's all it is. Oh, he's got such a lovely face. So anyway, so what does the Canine Academy do? And I don't know who's in charge of that. So.
Well, basically our Canine Academy, we have classes that range from basic 101 and then a little bit more advanced 102. You can go all the way up to Canine Good Citizen, therapy dog classes. We also have a Get in the Zone class, which is for dogs that need a little extra help around other dogs. If they're a little bit insecure and uncomfortable, we have a class specifically set up for them. In the spring and summertime, we do a lot of outdoor classes, a walking workshop. We do an agilio class. There's also tricks and games that happens throughout the year as well, especially in the wintertime. It's something nice to get out and do something fun with your dogs. It's just a simple, fun class to do.
And dogs need attention.
Yeah.
And they need to be able to bond, I think, with a whole family if they can, of course.
It's a great way.
But they tend to go for one person, the one with the food.
That helps, but it's also the person that's going to work with them. So if a family is involved, they're going to bond with the family. Even if there's not food involved, if you're engaging with your dog, that's a great way to bond.
Well, and I'd like to bring something up because we are headed into the holiday season. We're having, Halloween, of course, and that's a big problem for some dogs, And, of course, we went through the fireworks season with the dogs getting traumatized. But there are people maybe that are thinking, oh, my son really wants a dog, I'll give him one for Christmas. Is that a good idea?
It really honestly depends on the family situation. They've actually done a lot of research studies to say that pets as gifts is not actually a bad thing. People do remain committed, especially if they're animal lovers, and so it comes down to a lot of the family dynamics and making sure it's a good match.
And the important thing is if you're going to get your family a dog or a cat as a gift, because they all want one. I mean, it's not like a surprise.
Right.
Then you need to go to the Animal Protective Foundation to get your animals.
Absolutely.
And don't go to a breeder.
Right. There are so many great rescues in the area. Of course, the Animal Protective Foundation is one of them. So there's lots of options for obtaining a new
I've
pet.
gotten all my dogs and cats from the Animal Protective Foundation, and I only had to return one. But that cat was really
And that's what
had a really strange personality.
Yeah, and sometimes,
It
it's
didn't
not
get
a match.
along with my other cats.
Yep,
so, yeah.
exactly, and that absolutely happens, and we completely understand. Our goal is to find the right match for every family.
But the point is I'm trying to bring out is that you work with the people.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
And especially, with the Canine Academy, we have those classes. So it can help people after adoption bond with a new pet. And really there's a class for everybody. As Sheila was saying, whether you're looking for some stimulation in the wintertime when things are a little quiet and people are going stir crazy, or if you're just looking to bond with that newly adopted pet. And there are special discounts for people who recently adopted as well.
Oh, nice, nice. So the Canine Academy, how often do you have these classes?
The classes, usually it's on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday evenings, and then Friday evenings, and then Saturday mornings.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, and would you go to like all the classes in a week, or do you pick the class and you just go to that
If
one?
you're starting off from the basic 101, it'll start off, say, like on a Monday evening for 6 weeks. And then you can sign up for 102 right after that. And then that would run for 6 weeks. And then after that, you can go right into Canine Good Citizen. They run for 6 weeks. Usually there's like a week or so break in between.
So you can take a 6-week class and then go on to a second
Oh, yeah.
if you choose
If that's
to.
what, yeah.
Well, and it's probably a great way for the owner and the animal companion, to work together, and it's that bonding that they understand that they want to learn.
Yep.
They do.
Yeah.
They
And
do.
a lot of people, at home are fully capable of teaching a sit and a down to their pets at home. But the classes, I think, are excellent because you have
Socialization.
yep, exactly. You can socialize them, and you have an expert trainer to help you kind of work out some of the kinks, because we all come up with some quirks along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the distraction. It's, at home it's one thing, and we often hear, when the dogs will come to class, that like, oh, my dog knows this at home. They don't know it, and they will forget everything. It's like they don't know anything, but that's just because there's a lot of distraction in a classroom environment. That sets the owner up to work through those things.
Do you, when you go, and how many are in the class?
6.
6,
Maximum
okay, so
6.
think about this. You bring your dog into a room with 5 other dogs that they've never
Yeah.
met.
Right.
They've got to be sniffing everything.
Well, that's it. There's a lot of stimulation there, a lot of distractions for
Yeah.
sure.
Yep.
And then once they get to know the other dogs, it's probably a little
Week
bit
by
easier.
week, you see a difference. You
Yeah.
usually see a difference. Our Get in the Zone class may be a little bit different because those dogs do struggle, with the insecurity of being around other dogs. So they might just be a little bit, they may not soften up as far as the first week or so.
Do they think
but
that the other dog is a challenge to them, or a
the
challenge to
situation
their owner?
is a challenge. No, it's the situation. It's not, they just feel, they don't know what to do, and they feel a little uncomfortable around other dogs.
They don't know what the
So
expectation is, yeah.
Right, we help the owners work them through that. So usually by the middle of that class, depending on each dog, we'll start to see nice changes. And so by the end of that 6-week session, we really see dogs that have improved. And then as far as owners too, helping the owners calm down to help work with their dogs. That's the biggest thing.
Right,
Owners
and
work
a
their-
well-behaved dog is usually always welcome.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep. Well, and the in the zone class too is a smaller class,
Yeah.
especially for dogs who can't really adapt to some of the general classes, who need some one-on-one attention.
Right.
And we've actually recently partnered up with Country Acres to have classes over there because they have a larger space that we can really spread the dogs out to give them some
okay.
more comfort zone as well.
It is
Because I've
very
been in your classroom
Yeah.
area, and it's a good size. though.
Yeah.
It's good
Yep,
size,
yep, it's a-
but right, the Country Acres setting is good because we can separate and just give people a little bit more space, and that's,
It looks
That
like Gus
helps.
wants a little bit more space right now.
I know.
But Gus is spoken for, so you
Yes.
cannot have Gus. I know that you'd love to take Gus home. He's just the friendliest dog.
He's a sweetheart. We have lots of other wonderful dogs
We do.
And cats.
and cats. So many wonderful cats.
Yeah,
yes.
it's many.
Yeah.
Yep, good. So if you want to learn more about the Animal Protective Foundation, even if you want to stop in and you're not in the mood to adopt right now, You can go in, take a look at how the animals are kept. They're kept beautifully. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised you go home with something.
Yep, absolutely. And fostering is always a great option as well.
Yes, and we should talk more about fostering too another time, though. Thanks so much, Amy. And we'll be checking out with Gus and finding out how his new home is, right? How sweet. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to find out about makeup, Halloween, weddings, you name it. We're going to be talking about it. Stay tuned. Okay,
Thank
good.
you very much.
Good.
Thank you.
Gus is this.
Mama dear, mama dear, oh mama dear, Sibonga wena mama dear, Sibonga wena mama dear, mama dear, mama dear, mama dear, I want mama dear, Sibonga wena mama dear. Sibonga wena mage yo 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 yo.
And here we are back again, and look at that wonderful picture up there. What was that? The one with the cat? It looks like a cat. What was it?
Oh, a rabbit. Yep.
Rabbit,
That
I'm sorry.
actually was me.
That was you?
It was me.
Oh my gosh! Oh, how cool!
The illusion is that my eyes are closed in the photo. So,
Okay.
yeah.
That's fabulous. So you had a good photographer too.
Also me.
Also, she did her photography. She does it all. I'll tell you.
Yeah, you had to
She
do
does
that.
facials and she does makeup, and you do makeup for weddings and proms.
I do, yeah. So the Makeup Curio is about blending the beautiful and the unusual. So the beauty side is weddings, special occasion, prom, facials and waxing
Yep.
services. And then the unusual part is theater, special effects,
You do
Halloween.
special effects and stuff. So
Yep.
we need to get Max Suddeth over here because he's
Yeah,
going to be
yeah.
doing Halloween at the
I know.
side.
I'm always interested in knowing what kind of fun Halloween things are happening in the community.
So what is the most popular makeup when it comes to special effects? Or do you do this like for theater groups? Can you do it for Halloween? I mean, Halloween is only one day a year. So.
Right. Yeah. So I do work with theater groups. I will either go in and teach workshops with different groups, high schools, middle schools, community theaters, or I can be hired to go in and design the show, be backstage and apply the makeup, just actually design it on paper. Work with students, actors, parent volunteers for the schools.
Oh, okay.
And show them how to do it because a lot of times, especially with the schools, you got huge casts, and even I can't do an entire makeup cast.
But they can do it on each other.
Yeah,
They learn
absolutely. Yep.
How. And but for like plays, it's just regular makeup usually, unless it's.
Sometimes, usually, I seem to be getting hired more when someone's producing more of a Disney show.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, anytime. Although I've done quite a few Addams Families recently, because
Those are fabulous.
Yeah, that show is really
Morticia.
fun.
Is it Morticia? No.
Morticia, yep, Morticia Gomez. We've got Uncle Fester, but there's the entire ensemble are ghosts, so they need that ghostly makeup.
Oh, that ghostly makeup. Oh, how cool that is. So tell me about Jen.
Tell me about Jen. Well, Jen has a background in theater as a costume designer, and
You used to work at the costumer, right?
I did. Yep. I've worked around the Capital Region as a costume designer. I am growing in the makeup side of the theater world around here, and as a costume designer, traveling around the country, the regional theaters I worked at didn't have a separate hair and makeup artist, so the costume designer was responsible for all of that.
Really? Wow.
So that's how I started doing hair and makeup too. I do some wig styling here and there, but that's really how that started, and I've really just kind of grown to love the makeup side, and the theater makeup transformed into me doing more beauty makeup.
Okay.
So.
And is there anything special about beauty makeup? I mean, do you have any tricks that you'd like to share with our
Well, I did just get
Start with a clean face.
Start with a clean face. I did just get my aesthetics license. So
and aesthetics is facials.
aesthetics
and
is skincare, facials, skincare, waxing, and makeup. And I mean, I think the big thing is knowing your client's face and their skin, which is also one of the things I've more learned recently to apply to the beauty side of the business.
Yeah, because there's sensitive skin, there's
skin
dry
types,
skin, there's oily skin, and
exactly.
there's so many different types of skin. Now, you decided to open up your place in the old Foster, the Foster Hotel, and it's a Foster building. And Jeff Buell, I think, is the owner of that building. He's from Troy, and he's decided to rehab that building. You have a very nice space.
Thank you. We just opened on Friday the 13th, purposely.
Absolutely.
Just in time for the Halloween season. I'm very excited to have a retail space. So when customers walk in, you actually can shop for makeup. You can buy brushes, you can buy foundation, mascaras, eyeshadows. You can also...
Will you help them?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Almost everything has a tester, almost everything. So if you're not sure how to use something, or if you're not sure if it's the right color for you, you can try it on your hand, or you can try it on, wherever. And
you shouldn't try makeup on your back of your hand. I think they used to say because it's
not foundation. Foundations you should try along your jawline.
The skin of your hand is a different color usually.
It is, yeah. So foundations you would want to try along your jawline. Everything else is kind of okay to try on your hand because it's similar. But I have testers, I have disposables, so the purpose is definitely try before you buy.
Yeah.
And that's
because you want to be able to keep it.
Right. Well, and that's also the benefit of shopping local.
Yeah. The idea that a lot of times, we're in a hurry and we pick up something and then it's like, oh, that color just isn't right. And you leave it on your counter and it sets there and sets there. So.
Right, and I have met a lot of women who do that, and for that purpose, I do offer beauty workshops where you can bring in your own makeup and I show you how to use them.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to learn more about makeup, it's called the Makeup Curio, which is, I love the name.
Thank you.
And it is, it's a little curio shop. I mean, it
has
has that feel to it with the little cupboards and things. It's very, very cool. And if you've never had a facial, you might want to consider that, or maybe that's a great gift idea. What do you think?
Absolutely. There's gift certificates available too.
Yeah, how cool. Jen Dugan, she is the owner of the Makeup Curio. They're located here at 510 State Street, which is just up the street from Proctor's. So if you're going to Proctor's and in the afternoon, stop by and check them out because maybe you'll find something special for you. So I want to give her a big high five for coming to Schenectady and being part of our community here, and for doing great facials. And you even get a little massage with that facial. Is that right?
Every time. Yep. Every time there's some massage. That's the relaxation part of it.
Part of it. So she'll do Halloween makeup. So if you're getting ready to go to that big Halloween thing and you got a perfect costume that is set up for Victorian era, and maybe you just don't know what to do with your face for that, because there's a special makeup for Victorians.
It can be, sure.
They had a little bit more in the French Revolution. They had
like the Marie Antoinette type thing.
You never know.
Never know.
Well, give Jen a call. She's located, as I said, in the Foster Building. I'm Ann Pearl. You're watching Schenectady Today, and we've been talking with Jen Dugan from the Makeup Curio. I'm going to take another quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about someone who loves to get dressed up for Halloween, and that's Max Sudeth from My Size. Stay tuned. Good.
All right. Yo, yo, yo. Yo, 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 yo. Mama dear, mama dear. Mama dear, oh mama dear, Sivonga wena mama dear, Sivonga wena mama dear. Yo 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 yo. Yo 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 yo. Yo 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 yo. Yo 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 yo.
Well, if there's anything as a kid I would have loved to have done was to go to a Halloween Frankenstein camp-in. I mean, what kid wouldn't love that?
We're having one at My Size.
I know.
On the 21st and the 22nd. You can register for it online. It's an overnight camp-in.
Ages?
If the children have to be accompanied by adults,
Oh,
so
okay.
we'll
Well, I
take
can't
any age. Well, an adult can come, but so you actually bring your bedroll. You sleep overnight in the museum. We provide dinner, pizza, and breakfast in the morning. There's some parts of the museum that are dark, so if you want to go to sleep early, you can, or if you want to stay up and explore the museum.
Do the kids really go to sleep?
Some of them do.
Because, that's like,
It's
you know,
just
are you awake? Are you awake?
Yeah, it's just important to have an area where if they want to go to sleep, they can.
Yeah.
But it's a great Halloween event. It starts Saturday the 21st, and we end up Sunday the 22nd. We also make special arrangements for adults that have little children who don't want to spend the night. They can go home early. Like I said, you can register online at the MySci website.
Parents stay with one parent stays with them.
Right. Yes.
So they feel comfortable. I mean, they've got the tether there.
It's a great family event. We've done it before, and the families really enjoy it. And you get the museum all to yourself. And
where do you do that? Outside the planetarium area, or
you have campgrounds throughout the museum.
all over.
So you can pick your own camp.
You don't have any dinosaurs now, though, right?
No dinosaurs.
Nothing is scary.
We do
like
have
that.
we do have the Halloween exhibit, which is a collection of monster replicas and posters, and even the werewolf suit from The Howling, which was
Really?
written and directed by a
How'd you
local
get that?
John Sayles. There's a local collector who
So
provided
he
this part of
loaned
his
it to
collection. Yeah, and it's a wonderful display. It's a little different from us because it's not hands-on. But it's very interesting, and if everything from Freddy Krueger to the monster from the Black Lagoon.
Oh my gosh! You got these kids sleeping overnight and seeing that. Woo!
They don't have to come there. But we also have lots of other events. In addition to a week after the campaign on Sunday the 29th, we have spooky science all day.
I saw that, yeah.
And that morning we also have sensible science for families with autistic children, so they can.
I love that because children with autism seem to have like sound and light sometimes or affect them differently than it does.
Well, we've all been trained to deal with children with autism, and we have a quiet area that they can go to, but it lets them explore the museum on their own with their families where they're comfortable.
Yeah, in their own
And it's
pace.
from 10 until noon, and the museum opens up to the general public at noon.
Okay.
So, but that way
You
they
do that,
can.
what, once a month?
Yes, we do, and it's usually last Sunday of the month, which is 29th, which is also our Spooky Science Day. So we'll be doing activities all day that are themed around Halloween.
Okay.
So even after Sensible Science, Spooky Science will go on until 5, and it's a great Halloween activity, and we put the science in there because that's what we do. In addition, we also have some astronomical events. We have on the 28th, the Saturday before that.
I was just going to say the moon thing.
Yeah, International Observe the Moon Night. Yeah. Now, it's not a full moon. The full moon, I think, is November the 4th or 5th.
Yep.
But this, it starts at 4 because you can see the moon in the daytime, too.
I know, isn't that cool?
So you can come and be part of this International Observe the Moon Night. Is an international night where everybody is observing the moon at the same time, and there's actually some citizen science going on. So you need to come look through our telescopes and work with our astronomer.
You're working with the Dudley Observatory?
Yes. Dr. Valerie Repson will be leading the activities, but we'll have lots of volunteers and lots of telescopes that people can look through.
Yeah, this is amazing, and it's right here in Schenectady.
Yes. We also have a couple of other things going on. We have a couple brand new exhibits that we were so new we didn't even have slides to put on, but we have a rocket launcher, indoor rocket launcher.
Indoor? Wait, no, you don't.
Yes.
Come on.
You
right through the roof?
use these rockets made out of plastic bottles.
Yeah, bottle rocket.
And you pump up air in them, and you set them off and see how high they will go.
Okay.
It's a lot. It seems to be very magnetic for people because they can't stop doing it. And on the other next to that, we have an earthquake table, a shake table, where you can build your own structures and see if the earthquake will knock them down.
Oh my God!
And
fun.
And then for the people who are sort of nostalgic, we did an exhibit that's a little different from us. It's the 125th anniversary of GE, And on the 19th,
Yeah,
we
they're
open.
celebrating that now.
Yeah, on the 19th, we open this exhibit that takes you through every decade of GE's progress with and a sample of our artifacts. You know, the museum has about 17,000 GE artifacts and
They made a lot of
and
things.
almost 2 million photographs. And so those are all on display. So if you're
I'm sorry, I got the old fly again.
yes. So so if you ever work for GE or interested in GE, this is a temporary exhibit that you need to come see. And then, of course, in November, we start the Science Festival.
I know it. This is going to be so exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be, you know, from going directly from Halloween the next week, we start the Science Festival. And
This is a big deal.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
a big deal.
right. One night we have a special night for teachers where we do a STEM summit and we give away goodie bags, and it's free to the teachers, but we give them chances of workshops that would get them professional development credit. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we have what I call the carnival part of the festival, where we have probably about 60 hands-on booths and activities that you can come do. We put a big tent up outside. We have some stage shows.
It's a festival.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you're a Bluegrass Festival. This is a science festival.
Right, right.
And just really enjoy it.
Yeah, it is a great time, and we will have a food truck and some other things so that, you know, that it's all there. But last year, I think we had about, in the 3-day part of the Carnival Festival, we had about 2,000 people, so we expect that
Oh,
many
you'll
again.
probably have at least
The,
that, yeah.
the difference in the Science Festival is there's so much to do, is that people come early and they stay late.
And why not? Right.
Right.
Yeah. But and is there a charge for that?
It's just normal admission.
Just normal
Just the normal, no upcharges, just the
Yeah.
normal admission. And if you're a member, of course, you get it free.
Yes, and I am a member.
Yeah.
I realized that my membership had lapsed, and it was like, oh no.
Yeah. And then in the planetarium, we have our fall show called the Night of Pegasus, which is about the constellations that you will see when you step outside your door and look
And of
up.
course, they can always go to a planetarium show.
Oh, yeah. So
And the planetarium shows, do you have just like, I think you have one for kids and one for adults.
we have a Sesame Street one that includes Big Bird for little kids, and we show that twice a day. And then we have the Night Sky Adventure, which shows you what the stars would look like tonight. And then we have Explore Space, or another show that, you know, about, you know, current scientific events. So
It's amazing, and the Goto machine that you have, it will, if you put in a date,
yeah,
it will show you what the sky looks like on that date.
yeah, we could show you what the sky looks like on the day you were born.
Yeah.
So, and then
Let's have a birthday party and you just have.
yeah. Well, we do birthday parties, so if
Yeah.
you're interested, give us a call. We'll do a birthday party.
Okay, good.
So,
And you can get the planetarium to show the sky the way it was when you were born.
Right,
Oh,
right.
Cool.
yeah.
You got anything, you got the train exhibit coming in?
The train exhibit will come in the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's sort of, you can't go back, you can't say I've seen it all, because you have to go back because we change it all the
I
time.
know you do. I was
So-
we took a poll of the audience that were at the studio today. And of course, when I said, how many have been to the museum, I see the hands going up. And then I said, recently, and all the hands came down.
Well-
So we want people to come often.
Yeah, and a good way to come often is to buy a family membership or a membership, because not only do you get in free every time you come, it'll get you in free to 350 other museums, science museums in North America.
It's
So if you
amazing.
go to Boston or Philadelphia or Los Angeles, or San Francisco, Denver, wherever you go,
Just
there's
show
a
your
science
card.
museum, you show your card and they let you in.
How is that cool? And you know, some of these museums are very expensive.
They're much more expensive than we are.
Much more expensive. I mean, we went to one, it was like $15 to get in. And I said, oh, wait, I've got a card. So that was $15 I
Yeah.
saved. Yeah.
So you'll save one trip out of town, you'll save the price of your membership.
We didn't even talk about the Challenger Learning Center. You can take a space mission.
My marketing person would take me to task if I didn't say we're open every day from 9 until 5.
Except,
Except on Sundays, we're open from noon until 5.
and they're only closed, what, 2 days a year?
No, we close 4 days a year.
4
We
days.
close Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, and New Year's Day.
Okay, good. So you got plenty of opportunities. And if you're homeschooling a kid, get them over there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we do special programs for homeschools,
Yeah.
and so sometimes parents get together and book a Challenger mission or want a particular topic, but we also work with just individual parents and their kids.
Great, great. Hi, and we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking with our next guest, which is going to be Reverend James Bookout. He's over in Upper Crane Street, and we'll find out about what he's doing. Stay tuned.
Mama dear, mama dear, mama dear, I want mama dear. Ibonga wena mama dear, ibonga wena mama dear. Yo 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 yo.
And here we are back again. My goodness, it's always a pleasure. He doesn't come on often enough, I think, for me. James Bookout, he's with the Bridge Christian Church up in on Crane Street. And he is an amazing man. I did a tour of the facility, and they had just opened up their gym at the time. He was the proud owner of a boxing ring.
That's right.
How many ministers do you know?
I don't know of any other one myself. Well, you know, the boxing ring is just really a lot of good input that comes into our church, because there's a lot of people that come from the streets and they don't know what to do with their energy. And unfortunately, a lot of our young people today, their energy is channeled in all the wrong direction. So we redirect their energy into something very favorable and positive. And we don't only teach boxing, it's really more self-defense. It's also character building, leadership training, things of that nature. So
It's the whole package.
it's the whole package, yeah. And when we purchased the boxing ring, the gym.
You found that on what, Craigslist?
Craigslist. I purchased it on Craigslist, yeah.
Can you
I mean,
believe
by all
that?
means. I mean, where do you find a boxing ring,
I
first
know,
of
it's
all,
like
you know?
I couldn't believe it.
Well, I have some training in boxing. I have some training in self-defense and wrestling. I was a star wrestler back in the day, you know.
Yeah, way back.
But I can still take the young ones on if
Oh,
I have
good
to. I
for
put them in
you.
their place, you know. But it's fun.
Yeah.
And we love the community, and that's why we do it. We're not in it certainly for fame or fortune by any means. We're an inner city church, and the people there, in my estimation, are some of the most wonderful people in the whole wide world. You know, I like real. And people, when they're in a situation that's really trying and things of that nature, their real personality comes out. And Crane Street, they can bless you in 1 minute, and 2 minutes later they can curse you. But that's the kind of people I like to deal with, and you know, at least you know where you're coming from.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
when you're
at
doing
least
it. So
nobody's
it's really
hiding.
great. Of course, we have many other outreaches that we have. We have the food pantry, which we have opened up in a separate building.
Yeah, before it was in with the church complex.
Right. We have purchased 2 other buildings since then.
Yeah, the
We're
one
working
across
with-
the street? Or
No,
did you
it's on the
not?
campus. It's right
on-
next to each
oh,
other.
oh, you were-
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
I know you were looking at the one across the street at one time.
Yeah, we still are. We have our eyes on that, you
Okay.
know. Well, I'm a visionary.
Yeah.
And sometimes I can get frustrated because somebody says, you have too much vision. Well, I've got vision, you know, but I'm a
There's
person.
no such thing as too much vision.
Well, television.
Well, that's too much vision. I agree with you.
So-
Except for this show.
Except for this show, So we have a food pantry. In the last 4.5 years, we fed over 550,000 meals.
Amazing.
We also have a food and clothing distribution center, we call it. And we have given away literally brand new winter coats, hats, gloves, mittens, truckloads of very
You
high-end
get
clothing.
people that will donate. I know at
Yeah,
one time
that's
you
correct.
told me you were on the radio and you were talking on a talk show or something, and somebody heard you and gave you 50 coats.
You remember that story, huh?
Did
Yeah.
you make that one up?
No, I don't make stories up.
I know you don't.
I get enough stories, real life stories, you know, I can tell.
Yeah, and it amazed me when you told me that.
Yeah, well, this woman, we have a radio program on WHAZ, 1330 AM and 97.3 FM. It's a very powerful station. It's a Christian station. And we've been doing it now close to 3 years. And one lady really had touched her heart in this one program because we were telling her about all the needs of the community. And she went out literally, she still does it on a yearly basis. She goes to Boschkoff's and buys brand new winter coats and jackets for adults and children. And then, of course, we selectively give those out to people who are really in need. One of the downsides was that our first year when we had it, we left the sales tags on it. So you don't do that, I found out,
Somebody returned it?
They would return the coats, and they would get money back, and then they would use it for other things.
Yeah, so you learned.
We live and learn, don't we? And I was brought up in Rotterdam in the 50s. So the inner city was totally foreign to me. Has a whole culture within itself. And Crane Street at midnight is different than Crane Street during the day. As you well know, we sleep out in a cardboard box in my condominium, my cardboard condominium.
Does it say February?
In the middle of February. I chose February because I want it to be the coldest part of the year.
Yeah.
And we raise...
With global warming, you mean?
Well, keep it coming, keep it coming. But I want to raise awareness for the homeless, on our streets. And Schenectady's doing a great job. The mayor's doing a wonderful job. The city council, everybody's doing a great job.
Everybody seems to be working together.
Oh, they do, and they're wonderful, wonderful people, and I thank God for them. But there's some people that just don't get in the system. They don't want to. They want to be independent, and they fall among the cracks. And so we're there for them, too, as well, to help clothe them, feed them, just love them. And that's what we're all about, We don't have all the answers by far.
No, and there are some people who are going to take advantage of that, but you know what? You just have to rise above that and think the best of everybody.
Yeah, some of the greatest character building process that I had to go through is when people come to us, and now we're not government funded.
No,
we don't have any grants. This is just coming out of
the goodness,
the pockets of the wonderful people in our church. And we have widows' mites in our church. People, when they come by, they say, "Hey, you must be doing pretty well. You have any bankers in your church?" I mean, they're supporting it. I said, my brother, the closest thing I got to bankers in my church is ex-bank robbers. I said, my ushers wear ankle bracelets. And I said, but they're wonderful people, but Jesus has really touched their lives and made the transformation in their lives. So one of the greatest character rebuilders in my life is when you give and you give and you give, and it's coming out of my own pocket, a lot of it. You know what I'm saying?
I know that.
And
you have a wonderful family besides.
I do have a wonderful wife, 2 kids. But when they say, "Is this all you can give me?" I'm sorry, that's all I have. I wish I could give you more.
Yeah.
But, you have to go back to God and pray and just say, bless him, bless him. That's why the scripture says you have to, above all things, have love. Mm-hmm. And that's what we do. We love our city. We love the people in our city. This is a great city. We're seeing totally renovation of this whole city, even on Crane Street.
You're going to get a library up there, too.
We're going to get a brand new library, a brand new family playground across the street from our church. And some members of the city council have really awarded us with some great Thanksgiving. They said, Pastor James, one of the reasons why we're going to be putting millions of dollars in this corridor is because of the bridge center who has made such a difference. Because when I went there, Ann, you know that almost four and a half years ago now, nobody wanted to be on Crane Street. No businesses, nothing was really happening except maybe some negative things. Well, since we've come, I'm a firm philosopher. If you raise the water in the harbor, all the boats in the harbor will raise. Oh. And so the boats in the harbors are raising. And we're going to see literally over the next 2 to 3 to 4 years, Crane Street totally change because there's revitalization that's going on. We're trying to get over $10, $15 million of grants to put facades on the new building in that business area, So I'm the president of the Crane Street Merchants, and so we're having meetings there with city council members and business people and things. So we're seeing a big change.
I'm really happy to hear that. As a kid, I used to walk on Crane Street.
Oh, it's a beautiful area.
My grandparents lived on 7th Avenue, so I'm well aware of the community that you're talking about. We're out of time, unfortunately. Will you come back again and talk a little bit more about the revitalization and what you're doing?
Yeah, I would love to.
Because you have stories to tell that I'm sure we need 2 or 3 hours to hear.
We could. You and I, we connect, so we could sit over lunch and just keep talking about things.
We do, and I remember your stories.
Yeah, you do. Thank you so much. Shh, don't tell them the other ones, though.
I won't tell them the other ones. Good. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be hearing about the African festival that's coming up. Stay tuned. So good to see you.
All right, sweet.
Good. Mwah.
Love you.
Yeah. Keep in touch.
Okay. Yeah, invite me back.
Yes, I will. Never know what you're going to hear here.
Yo 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 yo. Yo 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 yo. Yo 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 yo. Mama dear, mama dear. Mama dear, oh mama dear. Sibonga wena mama dear. Sibonga wena mama dear. Yo yo.
Sophia, I believe is her name. She was from Africa, and she was doing using the traditional music, gourds and things that they use. Right now, we're talking with Carrie Brown. Carrie goes to Ghana. How long have you been going to Ghana?
Oh, I've been going there for over 10 years now.
10 years.
Yeah.
Do you live there and come back to visit here, or is
Yeah.
it vice versa?
No, I live there for about 10 months out of the year, and I come back here for a few months.
Okay.
Yeah.
And language, they all speak English?
Yeah, most people speak English, but there are a lot of local languages. So the area I stay, they speak Ewe. Yeah.
Say it again.
Ewe?
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you learn the language?
A little bit.
A little bit. Is it difficult to
It's
learn?
a difficult language, but we...
Yeah. Is it a written language or just a verbal language?
Oh, it's a written language.
Language. Because some languages are,
Yeah,
they're not written.
No, it's true.
Yeah. So tell me about how you got started, Carrie.
Oh, well, I first...
I mean, did you wake up one day and say, I think I'll go to Africa and start a school? Or,
Oh.
I mean, how did that happen?
Yeah, well, I've always been interested in Africa, and when I was in high school, I had an opportunity to travel to Kenya and spend a few weeks there. So the interest continued, and when I was in university, I went back to Africa, to Ghana this time, and spent...
What made you choose Ghana?
Well, it was there was an opportunity to do an
Okay.
internship there,
Okay, so
to work with
just
an
chance.
organization. Yeah, so I took that opportunity, and I spent 6 months traveling around Ghana, taking pictures. I was studying photography at the time, so I was working with the organization to document some of their activities.
Did you take the photos that you? Yeah, they're
Yes.
wonderful
Oh, thank
photos.
you.
Yeah, we'll be showing them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I spent the 6 months. I went back to the U.S., finished my degree, and then decided to go back to Ghana and continue that work, working with schools. And I started with teaching photography and looking at different situations in Ghana and how I could help. So
Is it a rich community compared to some of the other African nations, or is it, because some of the African nations are war-torn, and there's like Somalia and many of the different countries here. So tell me about Ghana.
yeah, well, Ghana is very peaceful, and there is poverty, though things are improving. So we do see a lot of challenges that they're still facing, but things are getting a lot better.
Do they have native, or native meaning, in their community, crafts that they sell? I mean, is that something that could be imported into this country, or?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of local crafts, wood carvings, local jewelry, glass beads that are made from recycled glass. A lot of beautiful things that are created there. Baskets that are woven from local material. A lot of things,
So what
yeah.
is the economy in Ghana?
What is
The economy.
Yeah.
That is the economy.
Well, no, there's a lot of, there's cocoa and agri mostly, yeah.
Okay.
A lot of things.
Because, I mean, I'm just trying to get a picture of the country.
Yeah.
So now we're talking about schools.
Yeah.
Do all kids go to school?
Not all kids, no.
And that's why you're doing
Yeah,
it.
yes.
Your event is called, it's at the Delmar Reformed Church, and it's going to be on Sunday the 22nd from 2 to 5. It's an African festival, School for All in
Yeah.
Ghana. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so our work in Ghana is mostly surrounding getting marginalized groups of children into school. We realized early on that a lot of children, especially children with disabilities, were being rejected from schools. And so we've been doing a lot of work educating families and educating schools and communities on the importance of inclusive education.
Inclusive, yeah.
Yeah, so we've been focusing mostly on intellectual and cerebral palsy disabilities, because we see those groups to be rejected from schools most often. So we've been working.
You have like a special ed school, or they're just mainstream?
It's mainstream schools that we work with, so we go from school to school. We've partnered with a lot of schools to support them in getting inclusive education started, training the teachers, working with the families to get the children into those schools, looking at how accessible the schools are, if they need ramps or other facilities, and advocating to government to get some of those services provided.
And how responsive has the government been?
It's been pretty good. We've been working a lot with them on the importance of getting resource teachers in the schools, and we've had some success doing that. But there's still a lot of work that needs to be done.
Yeah, and we really need to, as we educate people, you'll find that the health raises. I mean, they understand what vaccination is. They understand about health. And especially since you're working with kids with special needs, this is a real challenge, I would think.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean,
because even the families sometimes, due to their upbringing and their culture, they may reject those children.
Yeah, and that's what we find, and that's why early intervention is very important in our program. We go to communities, we get families and to recommend children that they know in the community that are not getting service, and we work with the hospitals as well. Yeah, we work with the hospitals as well to get them the early intervention healthcare that they need to be more independent. So it's a long-term program that we have. We can be with the children. We have some that we've been working with for more than 7 years, and we've seen a lot of progress. Those children are able to go to school. Their children who are not walking are now able to get the physical therapy to walk. Children who are nonverbal are now able to communicate.
What a challenge.
There's a lot of, a lot of things that go into it.
But you're trying to raise some money, and let's tell the people about the African Festival so that they can perhaps get a ticket and go there. Tell us what's going to be there.
Yeah,
and we know where it's going to be, in the Delmar.
Yeah, in the Delmar Reformed Church, it's a festival that will give an opportunity to talk about my work, see pictures of the children that we work with. There'll be African drumming and dancing as well, so you'll get to see a little bit more about the culture, learn about the daily activities, all the things that happen with the work we're doing. Some of the crafts that we have will be available for sale and for silent
that's what I was wondering if you were.
We do have some of our students do make different crafts, so we do use it as an opportunity to exhibit what they do as well. There'll be an opportunity to make the jewelry from the glass beads that we have. So it'll be a chance to just learn more about the culture and about our work.
Yeah, and if we look at the United States and you look at our country, and of course Africa's bigger, and we see the difference between the Northwest and the South. The cultures are different, even in our own country.
Yeah.
I imagine that Africa, being as large as it is, there's a whole gamut of culture, of tradition, language. Yeah. There's so much. How much travel do people do within the country?
Oh, people get an opportunity to travel a lot. Families live in different areas. It's a very diverse culture. So if you go to different areas, you'll see a lot of different.
Things, and of course South Africa is a whole other thing because that we don't. That's a whole other Africa.
But even just the environment. I mean, you have the forest area, you have the coast, you have the northern part of Ghana, which is.
It isn't just what we see in the Tarzan movies.
No.
But I do want to applaud what you're doing because it seems like an unsurmountable problem, but if you nip away at it, and do you have any other help? Do you have people other than you doing this?
Oh yeah, we have 2 staff that work with us, a project manager and an assistant who also go out to the community and help us. And we have a lot of volunteers who work with us, both within Ghana and outside. Yeah.
And do they come, are you drawing any interns from the United States? With Kalkaki? What is the name of your
Kakeli.
Kakeli.
Yeah. Yeah, we do from time to time get volunteers from the U.S. to come and spend time with us and work with the children. It's been very helpful, especially we have sometimes technology that's donated to us, like tablets, so we get trained on how to use those for the children.
Of course, internet and Wi-Fi is maybe a little bit sparse.
There are some challenges, but we find solutions to all those problems to help the children,
So, we talked with James Bookout and what he's doing in this country, and we'll look what you're doing in Ghana. it's an amazing project, and I hope that you'll come back next year and give us an update on it and what you're doing for your 2-month window here.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. I'm so pleased to have met you and seen what you're doing in another country. I mean, nobody, is giving you big checks to say, hey, go do this. You just did it on your own. You saw the need and you followed through.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm so happy to have met you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
We're going to take another quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about TEDx. Here we are back again, and with me it's my extreme pleasure to introduce you to Sherry Lyons, if you haven't already seen her somewhere in the city. She lives in the Stockade area, so she's a city person. How great. And in doing so, she's an educator, and she has been working for a few years on TEDx Schenectady, co-organizer and whatever.
So TEDx, this is our 3rd year, and I've luckily been able to come every year to publicize it on this event.
Absolutely.
And I actually have to put in a little plug, because who is emceeing our event this year is none other than Anne.
Thank you.
Yes, we have a lot of great different speakers. I think they're all fantastic, but I also always tell people to be a TEDx speaker, maximum 18 minutes. So if you're not that wild about one speaker, it's not going to last that long.
Right.
We have some great entertainment. Maria
Oh my God, she's
Zamokoski
flamenco,
of Flamenco, and I think not only is she going to perform, but she'll give us a little sort of tutorial, I think, about flamenco music and the history.
I think she likes to do that, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, you want me to talk about it?
Yeah, so who are your speakers going to be? Well, first of all, what is your theme?
Our theme is Worlds Imagined, and I think one of our ideas, there's so much terrible stuff going on in the world today, and so much strife, and I know for myself, sometimes it's hard to not to feel like I'm just getting sunk.
You want to give up, yeah, I know.
And so
I share that with you.
And so I think we came up with this idea of Worlds Imagined. Let's try and bring speakers who can talk about, well, what kind of world do they imagine and would like to help bring about. And so we're doing that with science and art and sort of social community involvement. So 2 of the speakers, I mean, it is really astounding what's going on in the capital region. One, Peter Fox from RPI, and he's the director of, the founder of something called the Tetherless World Constellation. But he is doing analysis, making use of sort of all kinds of data. Big data is what it's called. But I think, to kind of like bringing together data from paleontology and biology and chemistry and physics, and to be kind of analyzing changes in the earth and that. And I think his talk's going to be focusing on using this to analyze minerals and things in the earth, that the earth, the inorganic and the organic world have co-evolved 4 billion years. So just kind of looking at what kind of insights. Alan Debo is the director of the nanotechnology, and I actually, too, doing wonderful stuff with training students, but as he said, there's research going on that you may be able to store a movie in the DNA of a bacteria. So That sounds
Oh,
pretty
wow.
amazing
It's kind
to
of a little
me.
bit over my head here.
Well, I think as I hope, I've said to the speakers that this is a general audience. I think some of us, we hear about all of this stuff and sort of think
but it's so exciting
Ex-
to hear that.
But I'm hoping, yes, that
It
also
is
we
so
can really
exciting.
learn
Yeah,
something about that.
absolutely.
We also have, we have a third physicist, Matthew. I actually had to send him an email to Matthew C. Dosky. And he's gonna, who doesn't want to hear about time travel?
Oh.
Okay.
I want to get my ticket.
So, but then we have an artist, Tyler Kellogg, who's going to be actually creating a painting right on stage while he's doing
While he
that.
speaks, yeah.
Ella, who was Joseph, who is a neurobiologist, but she has now really turned to community activism. So she's going to be talking about outreach, but also giving us a little bit about what poverty and stress does to the brain. She was originally, and she was a fabulous volunteer. She was one of the original founders, but she kind of stepped down from TEDx because she had only so much time.
Yeah, I know time.
And then, let's see, and Brenda Miller, who is at the Sanctuary for Independent Media.
Yeah, she works with Steve. Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
and she is also, she's going to be talking about how you can use art to teach and to revitalize communities and community empowerment.
They do a lot of great stuff over in Troy, yeah.
So I think it's going to be
Yeah.
a pretty fabulous program.
It sounds like it, and I'm looking forward to it. I have always been a big fan of the TED Talks, and when I found out that Sherry was part of the planning, getting this all together here in Schenectady, how fortunate we are. And that's going to be held this coming Saturday, and that's going to be the 21st.
Right.
If you're, I don't know when you're watching it, but if you, the day's gone, sorry you missed it, but mark your calendar for next year.
Right.
Because you don't want to miss these. These are, and there's not one in Albany or anything else. This is there one in?
No, there isn't one in Albany, but dare I say it, the Albany one is very expensive, $90 or something.
okay.
Ours is $15,
Okay.
and there'll be free cake afterwards.
Hey, I mean, what more could you ask for? But this, to me, the TED Talks are so inspirational, and you learn so much, and it doesn't take 2 hours to learn it. They seem to be, when you get a speaker that understands that they only have so many minutes, they're going to get that all in there, and they're going to do a good job of that, because some people will just ramble and ramble.
That's
but
right.
before, don't go away, because I want to just say who's coming on, and then we're going to come back and talk more about this. Next week, on October the 24th, we have the Albany County Convention Center. They're going to be talking about Haunted Albany. And then De Palma Printing is going to be on to talk about what he does, which is kind of interesting. He does embroidery. Then we're going to be talking with Sharon Burstein about the Leadership Summit America. Amazing. She just gave a talk in Vietnam, so she's an amazing woman. Then we are having a representative from the Marjorie Doyle Rockwell Center, and they deal with Alzheimer and memory care. And then we're going to be talking with the Jewish Community Center about their upcoming events. And then we have a lovely lady coming on. She makes a sauce, Tina's Wings and Buffalo Style Sauce. She's going to let us sample some of that. So it's going to be a great show next week. Yeah. So getting back to TED Talk, this is going to be at the MOPCO, because
Right.
they have a new theater there. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
And how many does that hold?
Not so many from before, 75 people.
So you
we're
gotta get your tickets.
Right, we're expecting to sell out.
Yeah, I'm
So,
sure you will.
Yeah.
And you have, it starts at 12:30 and it's be over by 5:30 with cake.
Yeah, no, actually, probably it'll be over at 5, and we are going to invite everybody to Center Street Pub afterwards.
Oh, for
Hopefully,
dinner, yeah.
many of our speakers will come as well, and then we're bringing over a cake.
Oh, that's cool.
We've got permission that we can bring the cake.
Yeah, well, they're pretty good. When it comes to a cake, sometimes I'll let you do that, especially the pub.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, but thank you for coming, Sherry,
Yeah,
and I'm
well,
looking
thank you.
forward to Saturday. It should be so
Right.
much fun.
And
Yeah.
she really helped us out.
At the last minute, come in on my white horse.
Right, she did.
Okay. Thanks for being here.